PWM told me to make a little hack to improve and how the display is showing the off segments, because those are a little bit of problem. I didn't resolve it 100%, but it's good enough. It's good enough. And the idea he had, it was a genius one, to put a potentiometer here instead of a resistor. I will show you in a second, and to tweak from the potentiometer until I get the best display intensity and to be the best as I can make it, pretty much, from only tweaking the resistance instead of one single fixed resistance that it had, and it's here in this ball that I'm having, and it's very highly tiny, is this resistor. You can't even see it well. It's very, very tiny. I believe it's a 0402 SMD component, or 06, no, it looks like a 04. So I took it off, and instead of it, here on the back, here it is. Here and here I put these two wires to a potentiometer, and I'm tweaking the resistance value. Actually, I can measure it. This is set to 200 kilo here. 46.8, 47, okay? I'm always using a little ball to put very sensitive components, not to fly away and not finding them, because this will be very hard to find that little shit, and if I will have to put it back here. As it looks right now, I will most probably change it, instead of that 47 with this new value that I find it here, particularly for my display. So the problem that I had was that I was having from different angles black, you see that black background, it was like this evident, and when I was moving my head around it, it was always present, this unlit segments, and only from a certain view angle from the top a little bit, everything disappears and it is very clear to read. Probably I exaggerated here a little bit. Let me turn it probably. Yeah, but it was like I'm saying, a little bit from the top, like this. From here, from the bottom, it was always present, this black segments. So now what I'm doing, I'm tweaking from here, I'm moving it back and forth. So this is, when I'm rotating it to this side, to the right, is less resistance. By the way, this is a 100 kilo potentiometer, and when I'm moving it here, I'm moving it towards 0, and here toward 100 kilo. So this is what I'm doing. So now I'm moving it towards 0, and this is the effect that it's doing. You see, the segments are partially lit from certain angles at least, and from here it's totally black, but it's not good. It's not good at all. As low as I'm going towards 0, probably a few kilo, and you see, and I don't want to stress it. I'm not sure what this resistor is actually doing there. Bringing it towards 0, this resistor, I'm injecting more current. Adding a little bit too much current is a little bit not to my liking. The first test that I did, I put 1 kilo in parallel with that, and I got exactly the same effect that you are seeing right now, with very white off segments. This segments should be off, not this kind of gray. Kind of distinguish them, but yeah, it's bad, and I don't want to keep it like that too much. Right now, I'm turning it towards 100 kilo here. You see, it is settling somewhere in the middle towards that 47. But if I'm rotating it to 100 kilo maximum, in the camera is showing that it's bright, but in reality it's very gray from this angle. From this angle right now when I'm filming and when I'm looking over the camera, is very gray. That white is very gray, and from the top here is quite black, and only from here is white. But my camera is kind of sensitive somehow. I don't know how to explain it, but it is gray like I'm saying it. So it's very angle dependable. So here is at 100 kilo maximum. You see the white notch. So what I did, viewing from this angle at least, I move it back to the middle here, where is somewhere around that 47, and I move it a little bit like that towards 100. So I got, let me actually look with my eyes, not with the camera, and something like this is not perfect, is kind of like before, and when I'm moving like this is a little bit better. You see how everything disappears, but the numbers are white enough. Not actually, they become black. Here in the camera is showing that is, yeah, like this black. This is 47, somewhere around 47 probably, and here is very white. As long as I'm rotating, is becoming blacker. That's very cheap, very nasty LCD. I don't like it. I don't like this LCD at all, and it's unfortunately, because I really like this very sharp displays when it's very sharp white. I really like it, but and it's looking very good in the selling ads, but in reality is with problems, is with a lot of problems. And it's a very interesting experiment. As long as I'm tuning it towards 100 kilo, is graying. This white of the on segments is becoming grayer and blacker as long as I'm tuning it towards 100 kilo, and as long as I'm tuning towards 0 ohms, the black segments that should stay black, they become white. That's the problem. That's the balance I have to make from this, and I will probably put back that 47 kilo, that little one, because from this angle from here, you see how gray is becoming. This angle is too big. That's a problem. Yeah, you see how the black segments should stay black, and it's quite sensitive. I don't like it. But it is what it is, and probably I will put back that original 47 because they did this experimentation that I'm doing it right now, and I will leave it as it was, that default resistance. But it was a very neat trick, very interesting trick with this potentiometer, just to find the proper angle and the proper luminosity and the proper contrast, because that's what all this experimentation demonstration is about. So this is not good contrast between on segments and off segments. This is also, well, it's good contrast, but this is the annoying part that I really don't like it when I'm seeing those black elements there. It's very annoying. I don't like it at all. This is how it should look when it's completely blue. That's the issue. That's the problem. Yeah, very, very, very shitty. So most probably I will put that back and live with it as it is. Yeah, it's a shame it didn't correct itself. I couldn't correct it from this potentiometer here. But again, it was a very good trick. All right. Okay, so now it's having that resistor back. There, you see? That little one. It's not nice. It's not as nice as it was originally, but it's there. It's doing its job. And this is the viewing angle. You see, if I'm very, very low, you can see that off segments showing white. And here is, from this angle, it is relatively acceptable, let's say, with my naked eye, like this. This is the angle that I'm viewing, actually, all the time. Like with those black elements behind it. Here probably from top or a little bit over the top is like this. Is disappearing everything. This is how it should be all the time. And here, the angle is too steep, is fucking again. That's it. This is it. This is with the original resistor back. Yeah, it's a display problem, not a chip driver. And I changed my mind again. And I put a 56. Where are you? This. I have 47 and 56. I don't have in between them. And then another jump to 68. And then another jump. I don't have that many high values. So I put a 56 and is good enough for the viewing angle that I'm looking most of the time. So I was actually writing to my friend. I put back its original 47 kilo there, and while I was typing and writing my response to him, I was discussing about viewing angles. My viewing angle that I'm most of the time working on my table is this 60 degrees viewing angle, 60 to 75, something like this. This is the angle that I'm most of the time looking at this device. I'm rarely looking from the top, which by the way is looking phenomenal good from the top, is better. And when I'm inclining towards 100 degrees to 120 degrees viewing angle, if this is 90 degrees angle top, perfectly perpendicular to the screen like this, like I'm filming right now, then this must be it around the 100, 120 maybe. So now it's looking very distorted, is distorting the lit segments at this angle. But at this angle, I'm having them with very good brightness, and even from lower angles like this, probably 45 here. This is actually more like a 45. It's very good from 45. And here at 60 or 75 probably, it's good enough because I'm working all the time at this angle. And probably never, I will never use it like this from this angle, mounted on a device or something. So this is a hack for this device to use it on the table only, for experimentation when you keep it on your table. That's why I changed my mind back again and changed it with that 57 kilo fixed resistor on the back. I managed to find, and there it is a bit bigger actually than this one, original. So you can compare the sizes. Probably I will not short anything there. Yeah, it's sticking to my, you see to my toys. You see them side by side. It's a tiny little bit bigger. Probably my size, what I'm having here is 06, 04, and this is 0402. Tiny little shit. This 57 kilo resistor that I'm having right now here, this R4 that is where my finger is right now, is actually a scrapped resistor from some God knows where, and is now is put in function again for a better purpose. It was actually over the pad, and I had to heat up this end of the resistor in the hope that it will stick on the other side on the pad, which is exactly beneath it. So I didn't have that much room for the pads and the end of the resistor to actually to make like all these pins. You see this gap between the pad and the pin, and to actually lick the pin with the pad with solder. So it's literally underneath this. And I pray to Xiaoteo, to Amon-Ra, the godson, to be hot enough to melt the solder underneath the pad there and to stick on it. So that's what I did here, a little bit bigger. It is doing the trick. And I finally decided that I wanted it this way because I'm using it this way all the time. And it's probably showing in the camera. Yeah, well, not that good enough probably. But to the eye, yeah, the camera is kind of catching the eye, my eye. What is seeing from the top here is very good. From this angle from the top is very, very good. Here is a little bit, but it's not as annoying as it was before. Before it was a bit way too annoying from this angle at least. Yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough, and I'm happy. Now I'm happy. So thank you, my friend from England, from UK, from United Kingdoms. Good job. Excellent idea with that potentiometer. Again, I will praise you to the end of time for this little trick. Very good. I'm really happy to have good friends like this. This is why it's good to have as many friends as possible. This was one of the first childhood rules when I was very little, like 4 or 5 years old, like that. When I was starting to think rationally and I start to remember things. I'm like Chuck Norris, you know. I set some basic rules. What I want to do in life. I want that, and that, and not that, and not that. I was like that, believe it or not. To frustration of the mature people around me, which were a bit confused by my way of thinking, my radical thinking, my black and white thinking, like that. They were a little bit, they said, maybe this is not normal. This child is not that normal. But I was like that from very young age. Maybe it's a curse, maybe it's a blessing, who knows. Maybe everybody is an idiot around me. It doesn't matter, but this is true. This is very true. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. I am like that. I was like that and still am. Why this is a rule? Because I keep believing it. I keep staying to the rule. I keep respecting the rule that I formatted in my younger age. That's very, very important. And I grow with it, and it's part of who I am, of my being. That being said, that's it for this part. And I say bye-bye from your favorite artist, Mr. Q12. Bye-bye.